I get asked all the time, hey UAO, what about electric vans? The Kia PV5, the ID Buzz. I answer the same way every single time. I will start paying attention to electric vans when they come in 4MOTION. Well, now they do. This is the ID Buzz all-wheel drive GTX. It's electric, it's 4MOTION, and it's crazy fast. Goodness me! Speed isn't something that I necessarily care about all too much. It's nice to have a bit of power, overtaking power on the motorway and such things as that. I wouldn't want a gutless van, but be careful because this thing will take your license away. Not only is it quick, but it's smooth at it. Because it's electric, there's no engine noise, there's no gear change. Look down and you're doing 70 when you didn't realise you were. ID Buzz hasn't really changed in its appearance. This one comes in black, which I like. It's got the retro wheels on, which I don't like because that's not my style. I know nothing about this thing mechanically apart from it has 320 brake horsepower. I want to say it looks a tiny bit higher than the other Buzzes. I will correct myself or confirm in the edit. I have a question for you guys. Why do they make electric vans look electric? What I mean by that is my missus has had electric cars, and the difference between a BMW i5, I think it's called, genuinely my car knowledge, and a BMW M5, I guess, difference between a diesel vehicle and an electric vehicle, the only real way you can tell is whether or not it has exhaust tips and there's a little green badge, worst weatherman ever, on the license plate. Cars look the same even if they're electric, or they try to make them look the same. With vans, they do that soft face look. Now, I don't mind the look of the ID Buzz. It's been around a while, so we're kind of used to it, but there was a new unveiling of a Ford. It's a new Transit, and it looked like a milk float. It looked electric, it looked horrible. No one adds any grille kind of attributes to accentuate it. This does a little bit. It's got like a bit of honeycomb going on in the front. But like the Kia PV5, and I don't hate the way the PV5 looks. It's got a nice kind of false bull bar to the front of it. Go check out Coon Valley Campers. He's doing a right job on his Kia PV5. But it does look electric. There's no denying it. They look electric, and I'm not so sure why. Why don't they just make a van look like a van, but then make it powered by electric? Aerodynamics, maybe, economy, the look. Is it a way of telling the world that you are electric and you're saving the planet? I'm not so sure, but they don't do it with cars. That's just a bit of a rant there, rant over. So my vehicle is actually in for its first service. Believe it or not, it's been a year and 12,000 miles. I can't quite believe it myself. It has come a long way. I'll show you a picture of before and after. That's my new Transporter, not to be confused with the T7 multivan because it's not a T7. I'm not allowed to call it a T7. It's in for its first service. So the lovely guys at Oldham Volkswagen said to me, have you seen the ID Buzz all-wheel drive? No. You should check it out. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Problem is, because it's not my vehicle, and I have been kindly lent it, because it's all-wheel drive, and that's relevant, and they knew I would like it, I can't really test its all-wheel drive-ness, can I really? Because it's not mine. I shouldn't take it off-roading. So this is a road. I'm not breaking any rules. I bought this vehicle out here today, down this lane. It is a road, I promise you. It's a road on the sat nav. It's got a name. I've just passed a Royal Mail postman. Someone's house is just over there. It's just unadopted and a little bit uneven. So before Volkswagen send me a nasty letter saying cease and desist, stop taking our vans off-roading, I'm not. This is a road. I haven't even initiated all-wheel drive because you've got eco, normal, sport, and I think they call it something like traction, I believe, which would be the all-wheel drive. And that brings me on to a very, very valid point. You can go a lot of places in two-wheel drive until you can't. And the point that you can't is usually quite extreme, and only a small proportion of people are actually going to do that. And the people that are going to do that know they are going to do that, so they buy a vehicle that is capable of doing that. The only reason I've got a 4MOTION is because every now and then that is something that I would like to go and do. And that brings me on to the point. Who is this for? It's an all-wheel drive electric vehicle. The range is pretty good, 250 to 300 miles. But if you wanted a vehicle because you were going to do those things, you probably wouldn't buy this. It's great that it could do that. I don't know. I haven't tested its four-wheel drive capabilities, but Volkswagen are usually pretty good at that. And if all four wheels do truly spin, when you're trying to get uphill, I'd imagine it can take you places. But are you really going to do that in this? So who is this for? I love this little van, don't get me wrong. And I was told at the dealership today that you can put a few grand down on one of these and it would cost you around 250 quid a month, which is peanuts if I'm truthful. But again, who's choosing an all-wheel drive electric vehicle? It's a nice box to tick, but I'm just not sure. As far as size is concerned, it is truly the one-man camper van. I feel like I could do some really cool stuff with this thing. I mean, it took me 20 minutes to work out how to open the door. It's just under that spoiler thing there. It's the size of a large coffin. But everything is finished nicely, which you don't get with the new Transporter. Twin electric sliding door. Volkswagen have really gone out of their way to finish things quite nicely. If I didn't have a new project coming, because I do, I know I keep teasing you guys with it, I'm picking it up later today. And then it will feature on the channel probably after this video. If I didn't have that van coming, I would probably get one of these on lease just to have a bit of fun with it. One of my concerns is its payload. It has a payload of 650 kilos, give or take, which isn't the world, but the space isn't that big either. So what are you filling that space with that would weigh more? I would probably want to put some things on the roof, which I know wrecks MPG as far as a diesel vehicle is concerned, so it would probably bring that range down, making that worse. And filling it up with a few items, that range is only ever going to get worse. But also you might stop towing it because the novelty of it being like a theme park roller coaster might slow down eventually. I'm not sure. I like it. I'm only showing you this because it's all-wheel drive and I didn't know it existed, in truth. Put down below if you know anyone that's got hold of one of these and done some fun stuff with it. That would be cool for me to check out. I seriously think a set of UAO unnamed yet wheels on this with some knobbly tyres, again, it would wreck the MPG, don't get me wrong, but I think this would be a different van straight away. I like it. I like its finishes. I like the look of it. I certainly love the drive. It's absolutely awesome. I mean, do I take that back in that format? There's another vehicle. A Citroen C3. See, it is a road, Volkswagen, before I get in trouble. Should probably go clean it, should I? Feels very futuristic on the inside of this thing, I've got to tell you. It has a floating head unit, which is actually really, really nice. It's got Apple CarPlay, it connected quickly enough. I'm quite happy with that. It also has this floating kind of dashboard here, which I like, to be honest. The steering wheel, not so much. I'm not in love with the steering wheel. The buttons are where I know them to be. That's okay. But they are touch / actual buttons. I prefer just buttons, if I'm honest. I might get used to that. But when you push them, they feel clunky. So I would just scrap that and I would just like normal buttons. But that's just me being hyper sensitive. Steering wheel is the same shape as mine. That's absolutely fine. It has a cup holder. And here we have the world's friendliest cup holder cup in the world. And they're available in my store for $14.99. I've got more colours coming. There'll be 6 in total. Absolutely wicked. Comes with a lid. Your Yeti lid fits if you are precious about your Yeti cup lid. But someone please tell me what that is for. This, and the reason I'm saying it, is the most friendliest cup holder cup in the world. But like, what's that for? A cup inside? Like, people said some nasty things about my van and its cup holders, some real nasty things. That's where this idea actually stemmed from. Well, Volkswagen made this van, and that cup holder thing down there is just confusing. So what do I really think of this thing? I think it's wicked, and I think it is the next step in electric vans. Maybe let's make them look a little less electric, although I don't hate the look of the ID Buzz. I never have. It is a cool looking thing. They do make you look. Weirdest thing, I suggest you guys get yourself booked in for a test drive on one of these things, because it's cheap motoring. A couple of grand down, 200 odd quid per month. I would have one of these just on the side of my fleet of vans. I would if I didn't have the new project that was coming. 4 vans is a bit of a Mickey take, don't get me wrong. You can only drive one at a time. I appreciate that. But get yourself booked in for a test drive and tell me if you can get out of this thing without tripping up. The seated position is absolutely fine, and it's absolutely lovely to drive. But I think it's got something to do with the fact that the battery is on the floor, and the floor is raised, or the step out is different. Whatever it is, when I open the door and get out, I nearly fall over every single time. And it might be something that I'll get used to. It's almost like that step isn't deep enough, or the floor is too high. I'm not sure. It's the weirdest thing. But I've got to tell you, this thing is disgustingly fun. It's honestly so fun. And with the world going the way it is, with the fuel and things like that, I was slightly envious, everyone in the comments. Oh, I'm okay. I managed to fill up at home last night for £2.58. While those comments are a little bit, fair play. 250 to 300 miles on a charge. Pretty good. I just still don't know who this van is for. I thought I was onto a bit of a win, you know, because I ticked the box that said, would you like a courtesy wash and vac after your service? And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. Don't have to wash the van. Now I'm washing their van. I feel like it's only fair. I did that for you. All of this is for you. I'm washing a van in the rain. Please consider subscribing. Also, I just thought on the way home, I wonder if people from the thumbnail thought that this was going to be the new project, or if I've insinuated this was the new project. This is not the new project. This has just come up. I didn't even think I was making this video. I didn't even know I was making this video until the guys at Oldham Volkswagen Centre said, do you want to take one of these out for a spin? I am being picked up once I've dropped that off to go pick up my new project. And it's going to be pretty cool. That, once again, is for you guys. My new project is for you guys sat at home making the comments and supporting the channel. Please consider subscribing. It means so much to the channel. If nothing else, that is just the way that you can give back to the channel. Let this channel grow. See you next Tuesday.